Welcome all you pre-calculus learners. We're going to be talking today about a couple of different things. Number one, we're going to be talking about extrema, which is dealing with extremes that happen in a graph, whether it be a maximum, minimum, whether it's and going over different things. So we have a picture right here, and we're going to use these vocabulary terms to fill in. So right now, let's go ahead and start right here. It looks like from here to here, something's happening in the graph. So as I was tracing it, it looks like it was going down. So from left to right, this is going down. So what do we call that? We call that decreasing. So this little section of the graph, it is definitely decreasing. All right. Now, over here, I'm going to do some notes here. Like, what interval is that decreasing? We're going to use interval notation. So basically we're saying, hey, at what x values is it decreasing? We got to pay close to, that's a 2 right there. So right here, if that's a 2, that's negative. We're actually at a -4 right here on the x. So it is decreasing from negative infinity all the way to a -4. So it's decreasing right there. So this is the interval at which it's decreasing. I'll say it one more time. This is dealing with the domain which it's decreasing. It's decreasing where the x values are coming from negative infinity here all the way to -4. So from here to here, it's decreasing. Then over here, if we look at it, from right here to right there, we can see that that's increasing right there. So where is this graph? I'm going to put over here. Where is this graph increasing? Well, this graph is increasing from -4 all the way. It looks like it's just past a -2. So let's just say, you know what, we'll say to about -1.9. All right, so that's where it's increasing. We're just kind of estimating there. Okay, then we have a section of the graph right here that's neither going up nor down. All right, so I forgot to put increasing. My bad. Here we go. I'm going to put increasing in this little slot. Increasing. So that's increasing. Then we have a section that's neither going up nor down, and that means it's constant. So that is totally constant. It is neither going up nor down. It kind of reminds me of those constant functions that you see where it says f of x equals 2 or f of x equals 5. It's just a horizontal line. This would be f of x equals about see here, if these are going by 2's, that's 2, so maybe 2.2 or so. So that's constant. Then we have another section right here that it appears to be increasing once again. So it's increasing once again. So where, you're like, what? It has 2 answers that are the same? Well, yeah, if it's increasing, it's increasing. I don't care if they say you can't use the same answer twice. That's increasing and that's increasing because it's going up from left to right. And that's at a 2, so it looks like it's increasing over here from about a 2 to a, looks like that's when x is a 4, so about 2 to 4. So it's increasing from there to there. All right. And then we have a couple of points here that we need to take a look at. All right. So I know I kind of skipped over this. See that point right there? And this point right there? Those are some turning points, critical points in the graph right here. All right. So those points right there, we're going to refer to this as what's called a relative minimum. So I know it says minimum, but we're going to call it a relative minimum. Because technically there is no absolute minimum because this is going towards negative infinity, and up here this is going towards positive infinity. So there's no absolute maximum, no absolute minimum, but over here we call this a relative maximum. All right, so I'm going to call that a relative maximum right there. So we've used maximum and minimum to describe that. Okay. Then let's take a look here. Oh, we got this little line going through it. Now that is an interesting line. That is called a secant line. So that part of the graph right there, that's a secant line that passes through. And the secant line helps you find what's called the average rate of change between 2 points. So basically, it's the slope. Basically, you find the slope between these 2 points. Okay, that's all that is. But that's called a secant line. So we're going to write the word secant line. All right. And then the last part right here, we are going to look once again at a portion of the graph that is going down from left to right. So if it's going down from left to right, once again, we call that decreasing. So that is decreasing right there. All right, so where is it decreasing? Looks like it's decreasing from 4, and it keeps going on forever. So from 4 to what we call positive infinity. So from 4, where the x values are at a 4, to positive infinity, it is also talking about the domain upon which it is decreasing. So we're looking at the 4, and it keeps going up to the right forever. That's why we say 4 to infinity. Now there's a union symbol that we need to put right here. This is a union symbol that we need to put to combine the 2 answers. So it doesn't need to be that ugly. You can make it nicer and neater than me. But that's a union symbol. And then over here, where it says increasing, I got to do that same thing. I got to put the union symbol. So this is right here. This is called the interval which it's increasing. So I'm going to put interval. That's the interval which it's increasing. And this is an interval where it's decreasing. And there you have it. All right, so you get interval increasing and interval decreasing, interval increasing. There you go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some like maximum, minimum, and stuff like that. So if you would, please go ahead and I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to make a little drawing here. Okay. Well, go ahead and just make the drawing with me if you would. We're going to make an x-axis. Okay. Make an x-axis and a y-axis. And we're just going to do a couple, okay? Just a couple, and then we're going to do some Khan Academy. So here we go. So you have your graphs right here. Now I'm going to draw a couple of graphs, all right? I'm going to draw a graph that looks like this, all right? And we'll draw a graph that kind of looks like this. All right, now there's some critical points here that we need to talk about, and one of them is right here. One of them is right here, and one of them is right here. On this graph, we have one here, here, and here. So what are these points called? This is a minimum in the graph, and this is a minimum in the graph. But these are different types of minimum. We call this a relative minimum. All right, so I'm going to call relative minimum. But we're going to call this the absolute minimum. That's the absolute lowest point in the graph. This point is referred to as a relative maximum. All right, a relative maximum. Now there is no absolute maximum. Okay, there's no absolute maximum because technically what's happening on the right side and on the left side, it's both going to positive infinity. Now over here, I'm going to put there is no absolute minimum. My apologies for my handwriting. All right, so no absolute minimum, because technically, either way, on the left end of the behavior or the right end of the behavior, it's still traveling to negative infinity. So what is this point called and this point called? These are maximums in the graph, but this is referred to as the absolute maximum. So I'll put absolute max, and this is referred to as a relative maximum. Okay, that's a relative maximum. So what about this point right down here? That's a horrible drawing. Come on, man. You can do better than that. There we go. This is referred to as a relative minimum. All right, so you need to know the difference between relative maximums, absolute maximums, all that stuff. Now let's talk about increasing and decreasing. All right, so I'm going to do some, we're going to say where is it decreasing. I'm going to do some colors, like intervals where it's decreasing. And then I'm going to do some intervals where it's increasing. So you kind of have a concept of what increasing and decreasing is. All right, so decreasing, I'll go ahead and do, and let's do decreasing in red. All right, decreasing in red. And let's do increasing in green. All right, let's do increasing in green. Here we go. So decreasing. So it decreases from here to here. It decreases from here to here. And it increases from here to here. And it increases from here to here. If you work left to right. Going down, 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 down. Turning point. Here this is called a turning point in the graph. Turning point. Then it goes up, 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 up. Then it goes down, 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 down. And anytime it turns, that's called a turning point. Then it goes up, 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 up. So from here, opposite, look, it goes up, 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 like a roller coaster. And it goes down. And then this is a good roller coaster. It goes back up. And then it goes back down. So there you go. That's how you look at it. Okay. So there's all those. You need to have those in your notes so you understand what the relative maximum and minimum are. And one more thing, we're going to look at a picture here, and you can pause this picture right here. Pause it right now, and we're going to talk about what a point of inflection is. Okay? All right? So, a point of, basically, and just different vocabulary. Critical points of a function are those points in which a line drawn tangent to the curve is either horizontal or vertical. All right? So, here, it's horizontal. Here, it's vertical. All right? All right? So, understand that those are called critical points. So your maximums and your minimums, okay, your point of inflections, those are going to be considered critical points in the graph. Now a point of inflection is kind of different because notice this graph does not change. It's not a turning point, it's just a critical point because it does not change from going down to up. It just changes the way it looks, okay? So it changes its shape, but not whether it's increasing or decreasing. All right, so now what we're going to do is let's go over to the Khan Academy. We're going to take a look at some problems here. All right, so let's go to relative maximum and minimum. So this one says mark all the relative maximum points. Now here's the thing. Technically that's the absolute maximum, but in the Khan Academy, just go ahead and select it. All right, so that's a maximum. That's a maximum, that's a maximum. So when you do in the Khan Academy, when it says relative maxima or minimum, it says mark all the relative maximums, even mark the absolute maximum if there is one. Okay? All right, here we go. Mark all the relative minimums. So even though that's the absolute minimum, just mark it along with the other relative minimums. All relative maximums, boom, that one, even though that's the absolute maximum, and there's another maximum right there, and that's what you're doing on that, okay? Now, absolute maximum is going to be a little bit different. It says mark the keyword the absolute maximum. All right, absolute maximum is the highest point, boom, that's the highest point. All right, mark the absolute minimum, the lowest point. Low, 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 boom, right there's the lowest point. Okay. Over here it says mark the absolute maximum. Boom, that's the absolute maximum. Hopefully you get that. Now we're going to go to something called positive and negative intervals. This is going to take a little bit more time. So let's think about positive and negative. It says select the interval for where g is what? Negative. Where the interval where g is negative. So it's not talking about where it's decreasing. It's just talking about where it's negative. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, okay? Here is f of x where f of x is 0, all right? Or actually we'll say g of x, since that's the y value. Let's put y equals 0. So where is y, where are all the y values negative? They're negative from here all the way to right there. That's where it is. That's where they are negative, okay? This is not saying whether it's increasing or decreasing. It just says where it's negative. So that's different. Okay, so this is negative. So basically, I'm going to look for any answer between -5 and a 1. That's what I'm looking for. Anywhere between -5 and a 1. -5 and a 1. Oh, and also 4 and beyond. My apologies. I'll go back. Here's another area right here. So anything beyond a 4. Anything beyond a 4. So where x is between 3 and 4, no, that's positive. 0 and 1. 0 and 1, that's negative. Choose one answer. That's definitely a section where it's negative. All right, let's take a look at the next one here. All right, this one says, select the interval where g is positive. So once again, what we got to do, so we got to put a line right here where the y is 0. The only section of this graph that is considered to be positive is anything that's above the x-axis. So we're looking for any section above here. So it says choose one answer. So you see how it says x right here between 1 and 2? Between 1 and 2, that's totally positive. So I'm going to probably select that answer. Yeah, that's the answer I'm going to select. Because between 1 and 2, it is still positive. After it goes right here, see, after it goes 3, that's negative. 4 and 5, that's also negative. All right, let's do one more. It says, select the interval where h is negative. Now, where is h negative? I'm going to scroll up as much as I can. This will make it a lot easier for me to do. All right, so here we go. So this is where y is 0. On the x-axis is where y is 0. So from here to here, that's the interval where it is, that's the area where it's negative. So let's check this out. Between -3 and -4, nope, that's positive up there. See, between -3 and -4. Between -1 and 1, between -1, yeah, that's negative. So that's going to be my answer. And between 3 and 4, that's positive right there. Between 3 and 4. So I'm going to choose B. All right, let's go on to the next one. Increasing and decreasing. Now, this is where we're talking about increasing, decreasing. Now, it says select all the intervals where f is increasing. So let me tell you where actually f is increasing from about here to right there. So it's not going to ask us for the whole interval. It's just going to say, we're just going to look for any piece where it is increasing. So I'm going to say any numbers between, say, a -2.5 and maybe a 2.6. So all the intervals of where x is less than, say, a 2.6 and greater than a -2.5, that's inequality notation. I'm just going to do interval notation, anywhere between a -2.5 and a 2.6 in interval notation. That's what I'm looking for. That's the section where it's f is increasing. These two sections are going down from left to right. So let's see if we can find any. All right, here we go. Let's see here. -4 to -3, that's still going down. That's going down. -2 to -1, that's definitely an answer because that section's right in there. 0 to 1, it's still increasing there. It's still increasing there. And I think that's all of them. Okay. All right, next question. This says, select all the intervals where h is decreasing. So let's go ahead and mark those sections where it is decreasing. I'm going to put a mark right here and a mark right here. It is decreasing. I'll use red. From there to there, and it's decreasing from here to right there. So those are the two sections where that function is decreasing. All right, so say from -infinity to about a -2.3, and then from, say, 2.2 on. So that's what we're looking for. So see, let's check out the domain here. -4 to -3. -4 to -3, I would say, yeah, that's decreasing. I like it. I like it. -2 to 0. -2 to 0 from here to here, that's increasing, so I'm not going to select that answer. 0 to 2. Oh, nope, not going to select that because 0 to 2, it's still increasing. Making sure it says D. Okay, so that's the only one where it's decreasing. All right, here we go. Oh, look at this. Select all the intervals where it's man, they're really pulling out all the stops right here. I'm telling you. So where is this graph increasing? It's increasing right here. Technically, from here to here. And then it goes from here to here and from here to here. So that's what I'm looking for. Those are all the areas where it's increasing. I like that. That's a good picture. I might take a screenshot of that baby. That's a good one. All right. All right. So let's check it out. All the answers that apply. So -3 to -2, I agree. That's totally increasing. I like it. -1 to 0. -1 to 0, no, you're decreasing from there. That's going down. -3.5 to 4. Yeah, I like it. That's a good answer. That's going up. That's going up from there to there. And we'll call it a day. So that's what you're doing on those, okay? So let's do a quick little review. Let's go back. What is increasing? What is decreasing? Wow, here we go. So decreasing when it goes down from left to right. Increasing is when it goes up from left to right. Relative maximum versus absolute maximum, all that stuff you need to know. I hope this video was helpful. Get in there, do those Khan Academy, and show me you know how it's done.